A technocrat can be a bibliophile, can be an avid bridge enthusiast, can be a charming person, can be a convergent thinker, can be an LNTite, can be an IITian. Allow me to break this spell. Welcome to another episode of Kanswal Radio. I am your host, Anupam Ganguly. Join me in greeting our guest today, Mr. Vijay Raghavan. After a momentous stint in the foundry department in L&T Kanswal, he left for greener pastures in a startup company to take it to a newer altitude. Please put your hands together to applaud him.
Okay, before starting, I'll just introduce myself. You all know, my full name is Vijay Raghavan and I'm called as Raghavan in Kanswal days, SVR, my initial. I graduated from IIT Chennai and then I joined in 1975 and I was there till 1984, working in fabrication and foundry mainly. This is my background.
Thank you for joining us. Please tell us something more about your beginnings in Kanswal.
My beginning is I went to L&T for orientation at Bombay.
Okay.
Then I was there for a week, everything, and then from Bombay I was selected as graduate engineer training in campus interview. So they wanted first in this thing, unlike Utmal interview, it was L&T last time interview at that time.
Okay.
So then I came from Bombay in that Bombay Express, and then they gave the direction. I got down at Rourkela, then took a bus and got down at a called Kanswal outskirts. And with all my bag and baggage at that time I was not even knowing Hindi properly, being from very down south in Chennai. I was born and brought up in Chennai only, so we didn't know much of Hindi and all.
So
and with broken this thing, I managed to catch hold of one of the coolie. He took the luggage, everything, walked inside, and then at L&T this time they told that there is one graduate hostel is there. You go there, Bulki. So I inquired about the hostel. It was around 7:30. The Bombay Express comes at around 6:30 from towards Rourkela. So then we came, and around 8 o'clock I reached. And by the time I reached this thing, I saw the first guy I met was Mr. Bhaskar Sen. And his son is working in Kanswal. I think he's an instrumentation engineer.
Okay.
And Mr. Bhaskar Sen is 1 year senior to me, and he and Mr. D'Souza, I don't know whether you know Mr. Noel D'Souza, who also was in planning, and who happened to marry Sandra,
I know them well.
Yeah, correct. So then he told me you go to engineering hostel. So he also came with me. In fact, he was going out for work, but he still took time and put me in his room. Then I had to wash everything. Then I went and started my this thing. Then they allotted room and all and started like that. And that is the first day I still vividly remember. Then usual introduction, everything and orientation and all, and I started my career. Then Bhaskar became very close to me. Then I also became a part of it. At that time there was only one engineering hostel because there were only about 10 or 12 graduates like that. And we had to share rooms also.
Okay. And
later on it got shifted and when the thing expanded, they took that Baker's house also converted into a hostel. And even in D21, D2C, this thing where Mr. Nanda and all used to be there, Nanda, Jayantkar and all. And later on, these are all after 4-5 years later on. Then as usual, in the evening, Bhaskar Sen took me and introduced to the club, and through his introduction only I became a club member. And club member is the beginning of a Kanswal life, you know that, no? And initially I was working in fabrication shop and then got transferred to foundry. And foundry I met Mr. Jana, then Mr. Krishnaraj, then of course Mr. Ramaswamy was the overall works manager, and Mr. Behel was the deputy works manager. And in machine shop, Mr. M.E. Rajan was a great machine shop guy and a great engineer whom I always admire. He's one of the finest engineers I ever met, Mr. M.E. Rajan.
Quite so.
And a man always wanting to have perfection. And in design we had Ramani, then projects and all we had Soor, then Mr. Avatar Singh was there. Of course, Mr. Kashyap was heading the Kanswal. So this is my days, and my colleagues are Mr. K.V. Mani, who is a good singer and a good player and all. And we used to have a bachelor time, and we had a glorious time as far as Constable life is concerned. It was a lot of positive things are there. Like you have, unlike in Bombay and other L&T areas, you are only working from 8 o'clock to evening 6 o'clock, and afterwards you go to your own place and you don't know where you are and all.
Yeah, disconnect.
Whereas in Constable, we are more of a family because of the colony nature also. And we take part in the plus and minus of every family's affairs also. We volunteer. See, I still remember when Rodo's son got drowned and all. We used to go in terms, and then that river was there when it was full.
It was sad.
We did a level best rescue, but of course nothing could be done. And similarly, when accidents and all take place, we bachelors take by turn and attend to the needy in the hospital and other places. And even in marriage, we take part fully from A to Z. A lot of marriages also took place. Even KV Mani's marriage took place in Constable only. So that is it. As far as L&T is concerned, that time it was Utkal machinery. After 3-4 years, it was taken over and this thing. And we used to have a lot of bridge game, and I used to be the organizer, mainly for bridge and this thing. And we used to go to Birmitrapur Club, then Rautla Club and all for bridge.
Absolutely.
And your dad, Ganguly and Katua, used to be one of the great pairs.
They were avid bridge players.
And Emi Rajan also used to be a player. And UK Patnaik, I can never forget. Because
was a good bridge
in the bridge, he will become very, very excited. If anybody makes a wrong move, he will shout. He's a perfect player, so he expects the other player also to be perfect. After all, in game, there will be mistake, but he can't tolerate it. And those are the glorious days. Anybody for the car. And I had a good friend, companion of Thomas Taru, who was a design engineer. And he's still in touch with me. He's in Chennai, and I keep in touch with him. And I keep in touch with almost all the people like TK Ghosh, then Sanjay Dutt, then your KV Mani, and then OP Tyagarajan, then design. Of course, Mr. Ramani is no more, but whenever I was in Chennai, I used to visit Mr. Ramani's house also. So Ramani's wife used to be there. And then Mr. Ramaswamy, because all our foundry people, our patriarch is Mr. Ramaswamy. We always look upon him for anything and everything. And he's more like a father figure for all of us.
Quite true.
That's it. And Mr. D. Gupta, I can never forget, because in the days of Calcutta, when I go on business, afterwards I myself, YK and Pillai had come out, and we started along with Mr. Acharya also, the foundry. And we used to be in touch with this thing. When we came out also, L&T also helped us a lot, in the sense they never took this as a competitor. They said that somebody is going out, let them start. And of course, later on we became a little bit competition, but they never bothered about it. They had a larger scale that entrepreneurs should develop. That is one thing. And more in what I want to register is, Constable had the plus points of this, but it had a minus point of a very closed circuit, because we got all the things what we wanted. So we never know the life of a struggle. Like, say, for example, in a Bombay or in Chennai or Bangalore, a kid also has to go for 12th standard. पढ़ने के लिए भी बस में travel करने का है और two-wheeler में travel करने का है, and tuition का another 1 hour you have to go. Here we had everything cozy life, in a small circle of 2-3 kilometers. So we became a frog in the well. But I should say one thing, in spite of that, all the Constable kids have done well, extremely well. You take M.K. Mahanti's kids, S.K. Nanda's kids, or A.V.Das kids, or anybody, K. Ramaswamy's kids, or anybody for that matter. And Sue's kids, Salem's. I don't know whether you remember Mr. Salem and all.
I remember.
Salem is one of the most jovial characters, and he when we joined, he was the in charge of training and everything, all trainees and all. He was at the almost number 2 position, but he never had any flair of that. I am number 2 bullshit. He used to join, enjoyable with engineers. He used to come to the hostel. And he used to sit with us and talk. And he is a very enlightened guy. He can talk on anything and everything. He could talk on Dravidian civilization. History, you name it, he can talk. Politics, you name it, you can talk. Engineering, hydraulics, you name it, you talk. Like that. He was a very well-versed guy. And Mr. Soor was a great design man. Mr. Soor and Ramani I hold, and Thomas, 3 people I hold in engineering skills Very, very great guys. Okay. I've been talking, now you ask questions. Okay.
Please tell us something about your family.
Yeah. I left, I decided to join with Mr. Krishnaraj. So I decided to leave at 84. And that 84 time I got married. So then my wife could not come to Constable because that time the factory was getting established. So I wanted to come and resign and then go back. So there was no time for me. So my wife had never seen this thing. Okay, but I showed the photos and all to Mr. Vijay Raghavan, his daughter Vinny, and Mr. Ramaswamy and other people. And Mr. Ramani, of course, knows my wife because he had seen this thing. And Thomas Paru knows because he had come to, later on he visited Belgaum also. Then we settled in this thing. We had an initial struggle. And we had good well wishes from so many people, including L&T people, like Subarao or CRV Subramaniam and all. Some of the small orders and all, they diverted and helped also in a time.
Okay.
Then, Mr. CRV Subramaniam, Foreign Products in charge at
I remember faintly, not so well.
Correct. So he had also helped us a lot. And later on, he rose up to be the Group 9 in charge and all. Okay. Then he became our cement in charge also, number 2 man after Karnani. And
in Kolkata.
So
in Kolkata, like.
Kolkata. And afterwards he has retired and then he is this thing. As far as my family is concerned, I have one daughter and unfortunately my wife passed away. So,
very sad to you.
And I have one daughter who has done her MS at US and she is now settled in US. And,
wonderful.
She is working well and I'm still in Aqua Life, more on a retiring stage and because all three of our Mr. Pillai has retired basically and Mr. Krishnaraj also is only guiding. His son Mr. Amritaraj, I think you must be knowing as kids basically. Yeah, and then he is running the show and we are helping him. And my colleague Mr. Acharya also passed away. Anil Acharya, I know he has got a bullet. So he passed away and we constructed the house together. Anil Acharya and myself are neighbors.
He used to be a sportsman also, I think.
He used to be a shuttle player.
Shuttle player.
And billiards also.
Okay.
See, billiards, Acharya, Mani are good players. And Mani is a sportsman for anything and everything, football, everything. And I had to mention the football match between Machine Shop and Foundry. There used to be always excitement between Bhimrat and Y. Krishnaraj. They used to have some bet that Machine Shop jeetega, Foundry jeetega bolke. Then whoever loses, they have to give, in the club they will come and spend time. The winning team and the losing team will spend time. That's it. Then fortunately we are doing well and now basically I'm 68 years old and I've settled and once in a while I'll go to US also. And I'm in touch with Mr. M.K. Monti, Mr. Jana and Mr. Jana is also one of the great metallurgists whom I always have respect and I keep in touch with him also even now. And I learned a lot from him and he was a good taskmaster basically. And he used to teach us and I had excellent relationship. Even when he left and when he was in Gujarat, I went and met his, late night I went and met in his house. I was able to find the house and then he was very happy to meet.
Unexpected visit.
Yeah, correct. Okay, then.
So your views on the Utmal and L&T as you saw it, in your time.
Pardon? What do you want?
Your take or your views on Utmal and L&T as you saw it.
See, I'll tell you, compared to L&T, Utmal, when it was there, basically, there are two aspects. One is the personal life, I have already told, because it was a colony. The life was more close and we know each other much more than a Bombay life or a Chennai life.
Quite true.
Unlike Atco Walls, the L&T has got a lot of divisions like Atco Walls or Utectic or machinery or Powai workshop like that. But those lives are different. There's only a 10 to 8 workshop. Because it is bound in a city, you can't spend more time.
That's true.
Here, we disadvantages, we are a frog in the well, basically. But in Utmal, what is the thing is, we have to do a lot of re-engineering, basically, because we are doing a lot of import substitution for cement plants and steel plants and other equipment. And a lot of freedom was given. So I will not say that L&T did not give freedom because I do not know the power workshop style and all. But generally in Utmal, we had a lot of freedom and we could do a lot of things on our own. and people encourage us to do some mistakes. And if we do mistakes and admit it, that is the end of it. Nobody punished us. I still remember even Mr. Hoklawson used to tell me when he addressed the young engineers, he said, I will sack a guy if he says that he has not done a mistake. Okay, that is the motto of this thing. So we all did mistakes and we learned. After all, this thing, and our bosses have been and entirely because the job was like that. See, because we whatever was say for example, a dogging crane or a steel plant equipment like a clay gun holder and all. These are the first time we are doing, and which used to be at that time what do you call as Atmanirman now today.
Absolutely.
So we are doing it, and in those things a lot of guessing work has to be done because the drawing doesn't tell everything. And we have to do to the Indian condition also. We have to make a lot of guesses. In that only the design guys like Ramani and Thomas Thor who played a great role. And we also do some mistakes in the manufacturing because we are doing for the first time. And then we used to rectify. And some of the mistakes have been costly also, and no doubt about it. But it was a challenging job. Like one of the jobs I still remember is we poured some Sanian cover casting for Rourkela steel plant. The casting is about 30 tons. See, Utmal does not have that capacity to do it. It was for Rourkela. So we did and went and did the molding, everything. And we even consulted IIT professors and all for molding. And then liquid metal was given by RSP, that is Rourkela steel plant. And YK used to be our guide, and myself, Mukul Astana, then Fernandez was our lead fellow. You know, George A. Fernandez. B. Fernandez, Basil Fernandez. He's our lead fellow, and we used to enjoy that. Those facilities were there, and that was a great thing. And now I do not know how much freedom is there, and this thing has console or anything like that. It might have got blunted because it has got merged with L&T, and now it has become this thing. I think it has lost its entity to some extent. It became just a part of L&T. Am I right?
Maybe so.
I mean, that's what I guess, because I have some business relationship with L&T even now, because I supply to Kanchipuram and all. And so I deal with Rajurai and everything. And from talk, whatever this is my personal this thing. I may be this thing also. And in the club and all, we had glorious life and everything. And there's nothing to crib about it.
Anything else from Kansbal you still remember? Anything more memorable, like which has stayed with you all? Like
I still remember one thing when India won the World Cup. So the World Cup, what happened was there was one TV only in this thing, and that TV also was only in club. So we had the news only that the World Cup India has won. I mean, we could not see. Then from the hostel, Mani, myself, all the fellows rushed out. It was somewhere at around, the time difference is there, no? It was in midnight. So we went to the club, woke those guys. And then we celebrated.
Wonderful.
So India winning the World Cup with Kapil and Srikanth, Krishnamacharya Srikanth, you know that, no? That great cricketer.
He too was an engineer. He too was an engineer, I believe.
He is also an engineer. Correct. So it was a great moment, and this thing. And another greatest moment always we used to have been during the holy time with in G.C. Srivastava's house. So every time we used to have a great gala. And one of the year, what happened was, we used to have normal bunk quota and everything, and we used to mix up and have some this thing. And in one of the year, it went too much into our head. So myself, KV Mani, and so many hostel guys got intoxicated and almost fainted everything. So Beam and all came, rushed. They heard some 3 engineers are dying in engineers hostel. So they came rushing and they saw us, and we are all murmuring, it's a matter of life and death. So whenever Beam used to see me, he also used to repeat that sentence, Raghavan, it is a matter of life and death. And then when on one sad moment which I could not forget always is that foundry accident which took place when we were about to leave. Antaryami Samal, then Pius, Eka, these are the workers, in melting shop. And they died, and one Mishra got totally injured, and this thing. And Subramaniam, one young engineer, also died after 4 days, 5 days. And we used to go spend time in Raukila, this hospital in turn. The company did everything, and we also did our level best, prayed, everything. But it was a very sad moment. That's all I could say. Because some of the workers I know personally well, because I was associated in foundry. Especially Antayami Samal and Piyu Sekka and all I know very well. And I could not forget that Samal's, he died on the spot basically. He could not even be taken to the hospital. It was a sad moment. What else we can do? Anyway, good things in life matters, and it has helped us to, and it has also helped us to throw how safety is important in everything, what mistakes we did and how to rectify them.
That's true.
And I keep in touch with Gajendra Singh and so many people like DG. Of course, DG passed away recently, about last year, and I am still in touch with Mrs. Gupta. And TK Ghosh, I always keep in touch. Manoranjan Paul, then Jana, then Ranjan Mahapatra, and so many guys. This is the thing, boss. Anything else?
Yeah, one or two more things. Are you based in Belagavi now or Chennai?
Pardon?
Are you based in Belagavi or Chennai?
I was based mostly at Belgaum. Now I am slowly shifting to Chennai.
Okay.
But I am in the location of two, and now because of Corona, I spend more time in Chennai and visit Belgaum. But my still things are in Chennai. Belgaum also houses and properties are there in
Okay.
But I'm still associated with Aqualife as things sort of any problems we associate, and we allow the young generation to run. And Krishraj also is like that because he doesn't visit factory every day. He has retired. But this is the thing. And later on, slowly I'll shift to this thing. And I also do some PR activities at Chennai as well as at my village also. Whatever I want to give back to my village for whatever. My village is about 300 kilometers from.
Wonderful.
A place called Tanjavur. Basically, it's a cultural town, city. So I visit. Of course, now the visit has come down because of Corona. Everything has got affected because of Corona. And I spend some time. Recently, I speak with all my friends, Nanda, Acharya, everybody. Jayant Kar, like that. And Jayant Kar is a great singer,
Okay. Any life lessons from Kansbal you picked up in Kansbal, or you would like to share with our audience of Kansbal Radio?
See, what I would learn, the greatest thing in Kansbal is to never give up professionally. Because Kansbal always, that's why I told you, since we are taking jobbing, we do mistakes and we learn. But the culture was not to give up that. Even if you make mistake, rectify it, and you always, and client is the boss.
Absolutely.
Okay, and that has helped us, and that has helped our Aqualife also in a long range. And in fact, lot of things we adopted even L&T system as such, and we also follow thinking that client is boss, and even if we make a mistake, we won't tell that we made a mistake, we will rectify it. So, and another thing L&T taught us is money is not everything. Okay,
that's true.
Money has got value, I agree. Without money, there is nothing in this world. But it is not the only thing, and value system is more important. And that is one thing I learned from all great guns like Kashyap or Mr. Ramaswamy or Mr. M.E.R. or DG for that matter.
Very true.
Okay.
Hobbies please. Any hobbies you nursed in Kansbal and you still...
Hobbies. I was an active guy in library. Okay. That I want to because during my time, I had 2 times I ran as a library secretary, and I could use the full fund. We went to Calcutta and we went to Bombay, bought books and all. And I still remember I bought Winston Churchill's World War series, 12 volumes, which was one of the best book I still cherish. And I introduced to Kansbal, and the Arkanar and Indian story books and everything.
Absolutely.
And I had a variety. For that, Mukul Astan also advised me, was a helper to me. So between both of us, we purchased a lot of books. And I could say confidently, in my time, a lot of book value was added. And because I'm basically a book reader. Even now, I continue book reading.
Wonderful.
I don't watch much of TV. I read books. Any books for that matter.
And, very good to hear that. Very good.
And I listen to music basically, classical music. Okay, that is it.
Any concluding message you would like to give to our audience of Kansbal Radio?
I wish all the Kansbal this thing great success, Only thing is, some of the, because of energy conditions or economic condition, foundry has to be closed.
Yeah.
Even, when foundry was closed, when I visited Mr. Ramaswamy, Mr. Ramaswamy, he was also sad because he is a guy who nurtured the foundry.
Absolutely.
Like he was a father figure for foundry.
Yeah.
Anyway, we came to conclusion, finally economy matters, company takes a decision.
Yeah.
I want Gunswall guys to move forward, and we would also like to be associated with Gunswall for a long time. And I wish the younger generation takes up new thoughts of engineering like artificial intelligence or anything like that and move forward with that. Because things have changed. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being with us in the show. After that revisit of the yesteryears with Kansbal Yade, it's time to say goodbye. Stay tuned.